And what's going on, guys? Kale here, coming at you with another video. This one is in regards to a account update, which it's been quite a long time actually since I've done one of these. The last account update was on day 410. It is actually day 450 for Mini, and kind of a lot's going on, I think, with the game, kind of where Mini is. I just kind of wanted to touch on that, I guess, a little bit. So in the traditional fashion of the way these videos start out, collection power is sitting at 6.5 mil. The day 410 video, I was at just about the same, 5.5 mil. So essentially in the last 40 days, I've gone up in a million in TCP. So, basically just call it a little over a month. Looking over here, we have our day 450 achievement, which it is, let's see, where did it run off to? All right, right over here, day 450. And I think I definitely need to get a little better on getting back into the habit of these account updates. I think definitely the every 10 days thing is maybe a little repetitive and a bit on the redundant side. But I think going forward, I might do maybe every 15 days or so and just kind of see how that format works and if I like that. So anyway, with that being said, let's kind of jump into it. Like I said, a lot of things have changed, in the Alliance as well as in the game, even just from the time I did my last account update. So there is a release date now for Dark Dimension 5, so slowly kind of starting to plan that out for Mini. In the Stark Tech, I have been just kind of focusing essentially on my Doom 2 raid first, as far as that team. So for Mini, it happens to be Bio, Skill, Tech, Mystic, and then Mutant. So that is kind of the way I am upgrading this Stark Tech gear. And the Alliance did just hit level 80 a few days ago, actually. So this is finally max outable. And once these obviously reach the max level, I can just kind of keep going. So the way I've been prioritizing this, and it's kind of no different, is just basically going off of my Doom raid teams. Previously, I was kind of focusing, I guess, on the Doom 1 section, as that's kind of what we were running. Now that Doom 2 is kind of, almost viable again, definitely kind of switching the focus onto that. Anyway, moving along over to the supply store, I am basically starting the very long process of stockpiling my teal gear or the augmented pieces. So I think I've mentioned in a previous video, what I'm currently doing is I am buying the hero uniques, I think is what we were calling these. So these are specific to a particular character, and depending on the unique, sometimes it's a lot of characters, sometimes it's a few characters, etc. Then over here we have I think what we've been calling the origin uniques, and essentially these are going to be based off of the origin trait. So you have Mystic, you have Bio, you have Skill, you have Mutant, and you have Tech. And so I'm stockpiling on those. And then kind of in the gold area, I have, for the most part, kind of stopped buying gold gear except for the gold hero uniques, essentially that are under 61. 61 is what you need to basically take a character from G13 to G15. So it's always a good idea to have basically 61 of the hero uniques, regardless of what it is, just because you never know what the next new character is going to require. So that's kind of what I'm doing here in the regular gold store. In the Blitz store, I've kind of switched over. I'm maxing out White Tiger. I don't really have a particular reason as to why I'm doing that. It's just, for whatever reason, it just seemed to make sense, I guess. A lot of these other characters really don't hold up any relevance, and it kind of is what it is. What I'm also doing is when this kind of gets, my Blitz credits get to about anywhere from like 13 to 15k, I will typically open these Blitz orbs just until it gets just slightly below 9, or just below 10k essentially. And, this way I'm kind of farming Misty Knight, also farming some of the other characters that are in the Blitz store, as Mini does still not have a lot of these characters maxed out. And it's actually cheaper if you are opening the Blitz orbs versus the individual character orbs. Next little section we have is our raid store, and I am farming my Kree minions. I think Kree Oracle is the only one in here, if I'm not mistaken, and that is essentially for Omega Red. So, Nick Fury leads to Omega Red, etc. So there's that. I am also farming Kitty Pryde. I'm farming Yo-Yo as well as Sharon Carter. Yo-Yo is for Ebony Maw. Sharon Carter is for, again, Omega Red. And, that's kind of what I'm doing here. Typically, when I get my raid credits above 150, I will then go ahead and open up a bunch of these raid orbs, which I do have 5 free ones open, so let's do that real real quick. And so that's kind of what I'm doing there. Other things I'm just trying to keep an eye on in the raid store as well is if any of these uniques kind of start dipping below the 100 mark, I am looking at that. And, we were talking about the origin unique, so, stuff like this. With the catalysts, which are used by all classes, typically I try to keep it above 1,000. I know that sounds like a lot, but you can kind of go through them really fast when you're bringing characters up to G15 in particular. Next little section is our arena store, and I am currently farming Phyla-Vell. We'll get her to 7 stars and then just kind of figure out what I want to do. Essentially, Mini did have a training module shortage for a while, so I was actually buying these L3 training modules. That is not the case currently. I do have quite a bit of L3s kind of saved up, as well as I think I even have some orange ones. So Phyla-Vell is kind of my main focus in the arena store. In our war store, we're basically farming, characters that are needed for legendaries. I'm not as much farming teal gear yet on Mini, just because of, where Mini is in the game, and I am still missing some kind of like essential legendaries or just kind of stronger legendaries. I'm really essentially kind of working on that. One thing I am picking up though is these little miasmas, and that is essentially to kind of finish off my Mystic team, which it actually looks like I have enough for Deathpool, so I'm surprised I haven't brought her up. We'll go look at that in just a second. I don't want to derail myself or get sidetracked. Other thing I'm actually kind of hoping for is that basically the War Orb will hopefully maybe make a Teal War Orb somewhere down the line. So I'm actually currently saving my Elite War credits. The only reason I'm able to do this is because I am on the final node of Dark Dimension 4. So if you're still working kind of on your Dark Dimension 4 prep, don't hold on to these. Definitely open those Elite War Orb 2s and get yourself into DD4. The sooner you get Doom unlocked as well as built up, the easier the tech section is going to be. So that's kind of what I'm doing there. Now, in the Elite store, kind of more or less the same. Not too much has happened. I'm still sitting on 200 plus of these gold promotion credits, and I just haven't seen a worthwhile 6 or 7 star character come up yet. So if that does happen, I will certainly look at that. And the silver promotion credits, kind of the same thing, as characters are appearing that I think still kind of hold some relevance in the game. I would be purchasing that as well. In our ISO 8 store, I will kind of talk about a little bit more, but basically just farming my blue ions, working on getting all of my characters essentially to blue 2 as well as blue 3, and that is pretty much the way these stores are looking. So kind of let's move on over, and I just want to take a look real quick at Deathpool over here and see if she is actually... Yeah, so I can take Deathpool actually to a higher level. So let's go ahead and do that. We'll get her to G13. And, this is essentially for my Mystic team for Doom 2 as well as Doom 1. I'm lucky enough in Doom 1 that it's actually the last section for my particular lane. And in Doom 2, it's my second to last section. So with that being said, I am running a little bit short on these the miasmas, rather. So I do want to go ahead and stockpile those, make sure I do have enough to essentially take Deathpool to G14 and G15 eventually. So I would need essentially another 49 of these to accomplish that. So you need 24 for G14 and 25 for G15. But anyway, so other things kind of going on in the roster. It is looking very, very messy, and I do apologize. It's gotten a little cluttered for my liking, but it is what it is. So currently, this basically top row, I am farming for either legendaries or just the power of it, essentially. So Symbiote Spider-Man has become hard node farmable. He is kind of still an essential character for the bio section. Definitely think he is Dark Dimension 5 viable as well. So been working on getting him to 7 stars, and I actually managed to get the last couple shards to take him up to 6, which I already had a 6 red. So that was pretty nice. That happened today. Nebula farming just for iWatch, she is almost done, and I can kind of move her out of the way. Captain Sam, pretty self-explanatory. He is being farmed, not exclusively, but he is being farmed for Omega Red, as well as he is just a really good skill character. Looking at this, I can actually clean this up a little bit. I do not need Maria Hill favorited currently. Yes, I am farming her, but I kind of have her saved in another location, so it doesn't really make sense to have her kind of showing up twice. Same thing with Lady Deathstrike. I'm actually going to unfavorite her as well, and we'll kind of go over what we're actually farming again. So Yellow Jacket, legendary. Iceman will be for the mutant section, so getting some more stars on him. Polaris, again, legendary, so Adam Warlock. And Winter Soldier, again, legendary related. Sabretooth and Wolverine, I'm currently actually building up their ISOs. And I am planning to start kind of really building them up for the second pass of Omega Red, which, is probably give or take about 2 months away. So definitely no rush with that. And I can actually unfavorite Wolverine because I did just get his ISO up to level 5. Other ones going on the field, the rest are going to be Kree Minions. So Kree Minions, again, it's just exclusively for Nick Fury to get him to a higher star point and therefore unlock Omega Red. Silver Samurai, I will again work on him when I start working on Weapon X, so actually let's get rid of him as well. And then we've got Cersei down here. She will start getting worked on rather shortly. I do suspect that the arena meta is going to be shifting pretty quickly as the two Eternals are really changing things. There's been a lot of videos out with just the power level of these two characters, both in arena and even actually in war, believe it or not. And they are also shaping up to be a pretty good team for the Mystic section. So that's kind of who I'm hard farming right now. So basically, once I get down to Kree Reaper over here, and I do find myself with some extra energy, which I believe she's the last one I have to farm today. Okay, so I've got one more on him. So basically, once I finish farming my Kree minions for the day, what I will then do is I go in and I go into the campaign section, and let me just get these quick little farms going real fast. And what I will then do is I basically go into the campaign. I will go to the Doom War chapter, chapter 3 essentially, or chapter 4 rather. And from there I will actually start farming teal gear. And they do have the teal catalysts in the Doom War campaign. And it's a good idea to just basically start stockpiling that, as you will need a lot of it to go through DD5. The other thing too is, if I remember correctly, I think you get more gold per node. It's actually the same amount of gold there, but I do think you get more training mats, because I think the older ones are 2 and 3, and these ones are 4 and 2, but they're of a higher quality training material. So you do get more training mats, which I definitely think has kind of helped Mini a little bit with my current shortage. And, basically as energy kind of comes in, I will farm those as well. Next, let's look at the Verse roster, which for me is basically how I keep track of my Doom Raid teams, as well as my Dark Dimension 5 characters. Now, I am still kind of debating how I want to organize this, as it is a lot of characters, and most of these I will not be taking to Dark Dimension 5. So I kind of need to think of another way that I want to do this, whether it's just directly on the home, like the regular homepage with the favorited thing, or if I want to just keep doing the Verse thing and add in DD5 characters just kind of as I go along, but haven't really decided that yet. But anyway, let's take a look at the roster. These are rather my Doom Raid characters. And you'll notice here I've managed to get all of them to Blue ISO 1, what we've lovingly been calling Blue 1, just to kind of save down on some of these syllables. So everyone is at Blue 1, and actually, believe it or not, all of my characters are ready to go to Blue 2. The only problem is I don't have any ions. So I've basically been kind of farming ions as well as farming towards Blue 3. So kind of the way I've been doing this, I've been doing it very systematically, and I, again, am going in my Doom 2 raid order. So again, for Mini, I'm looking at Bio, Skill, Tech, Mystic, and then Mutant. So what I did was I basically got all of my mutants to Blue 1, or not my mutants. I got all of my bio characters to Blue 1. Then I got all my skill teams to Blue 1, tech to Blue 1, so on and so forth. Once I was able to get all of them to Blue 1 and have their, basically these little pieces, the actual ISO 8 pieces equipped, and they would have basically this little plus sign. I would then go to the next section, and as I get ions, I kind of go back into that order and bring them up to blue 2. So now that I have everyone kind of ready for blue 2 and we're just missing ions, I'm actually starting to work towards blue 3. And again, I'm going in order, so Bio, Skill, Tech, Mystic, Mutant. So I am currently working on Symbiote Spider-Man, getting him to blue 3. So, basically what I've been doing, it does require a lot of ions. So I've actually been kind of going in. So like with Symbiote Spider-Man, I need 9 of each of these. So what I've been doing is I go into the ISO 8 store, and I do this one character at a time. We are going to go over to Brawler, which is Symbiote Spider-Man, and I'd actually forgot to look at which is the blue isotope I need. So let's see. So we need the little triangle. So I'm clicking way too fast for this. So I have 7 out of 9, so I basically just need one more drop of the triangle, and then I can go to the next character. And so we'll go down over here and see if the RNG gods are in our favor today. So we're looking for a blue triangle. We only need 2. And praise be to RNG Jesus. So we've got our little triangle here, or pyramid, whatever you want to call it. So now I can actually go in, and if I really wanted to, I can take Symbiote Spider-Man all the way to blue 3, but these are pretty expensive to fuse, so you actually need 17k, or 17.5k, and with the ions being the real bottleneck for this, I don't want to go taking characters to blue 3 yet until I have everyone at blue 2, and I mean, it might be kind of, I guess, maybe an erotic way of doing it, but it's kind of keeping my Doom teams all pretty even, and I am able to still make overall progression by not just focusing on, getting Bio to blue 3, right from the bat, and then getting Skill to blue 3, and so on and so forth. Because I think if you kind of stick to getting just one full team to blue 3, it's going to take you quite some time, because it is a lot of the ISO 8 pieces, it's a lot of ions. So I'd rather basically have everyone at least Doom 2 eligible, and then just kind of slowly work on them. So, looking here, I would make sure, all of my symbiotes are at blue 2. And then, I would go on to the next section. But so Symbiote Spider-Man is done, so let's kind of move on over to the next kind of maybe essential character, and we're looking at Anti-Venom. Again, we need, in this case, 5 of the isotopes, and this is the little diamonds, so I won't be able to do this for Anti-Venom, because, obviously I think I only have 2 more pulls left, or actually I might only have 1. I have 3, that's nice. So we're going to go down here to support, and we are looking for little blue diamonds, and if we're able to, praise be to RNGesus, we've got 2 of those going, so we need 3 more of those. And let's see what we've got. So we got the little circle, not a big deal. And then lastly, what else do we get? And we've got the little shield. So I've got up to 6,500 ions, so I'm actually 1 more orb away from being able to take another character to blue 2. So that's kind of what I'll be doing. So when I kind of filter this out, let's go on over to Bio, and you'll see here all of my symbiotes are currently at blue 2. So my next team that I would want to be getting to blue 2 is going to be Skill. So we will scroll down just a little bit, and you'll see here also I have all of my skill characters at least blue 2 as well. And then, so my next section would be my tech, which for Mini, that is still kind of an incomplete team. I think Doom is kind of essential, really. So I kind of just have some filler characters. This is currently who I'm kind of using just to kind of keep it going. I do have to refresh a lot for them. I'm not willing to take Ghost to blue 2, as she is not going to be a permanent tech character for me, so I just wanted to get her enough to basically compete into the Doom 2 raids. I will be replacing her out with Dr. Doom, and Doom I will definitely take to, blue 3. So I finished actually, I finished Bio, Skill, and Tech. So my next section is going to be Mystic. So we will go ahead and do the Mystic filter. And I want to say this is where Mini is currently actually working towards the blue 2. So I've already taken Adam, Warlock up. I am basically ready to take Silver Surfer over here up. So I will take him to blue 2 as soon as I get those 80 ions, and then I'll go on over to Dagger, same thing, and just kind of make my way down the line. So that's kind of where I am in the blue ions, and hopefully that kind of maybe gives some people just like a little focus. And if y'all want another video kind of explaining that a little bit more in depth, certainly happy to do that. What else we got going on? Arena, I'm kind of staying in the at least top 25. Depending on how much I'm heavily paying attention, I can kind of get sometimes to the low teens and just kind of get some more power cores going. Other things going on, obviously, the Cersei event is still going on. I am doing 50 core refreshes as well as 100 core refreshes, and just kind of slowly getting some shards for Cersei. The goal for Mini is to unlock her to 5 stars. So I do need, right over here, I just need about 57 more shards of her, so that hopefully should be doable. We do still have a few days left until this event ends. If I get her to 5 stars, that's, perfect for me. So actually it ends in 2 days, so we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. But other things kind of going on, the Alliance raids, just kind of more of the same, just kind of slowly making our way towards daily 60% for the Doom raids in difficulty 1, and then eventually getting back into Doom 2, and really starting to kind of farm that teal gear. Like I mentioned, Dark Dimension 4, I am in the final boss node for DD4 in the Legendary section, and just kind of slowly chipping away at this. This is a pretty difficult node with the 2 Ebony Maws that do drop. Once the Ebony Maw goes, it is a fairly easy kind of situation. So I'm actually currently in the first Ebony Maw wave, and that one, again, is probably going to take me some time to get Ebony down. And then the final wave actually has another Ebony Maw, and that'll, again, probably slow me down a little bit. But hoping maybe I can have this completed in the next month or so. I'm really not rushing through it. I'm not doing any refreshes or anything like that. So basically when I get done is when I get done. And the legendaries I'm actually currently using are the kind of 4 legendaries that I thought still had the most long-term use that Mini has access to. So these are basically who I took in. And I want to say that's really kind of it for the day 450 account update. So first and foremost, just want to apologize, I guess, for not doing kind of semi-regular account updates. I am going to try to get a little better on that and maybe do like every 15 days, like I mentioned at the beginning. But hopefully y'all are still finding these helpful, or just, getting a insight into kind of how I roll with some of the alternative accounts, basically a free-to-play account. And so if you did find this video helpful, please like and subscribe. As always, I want to thank everyone so much for watching. Hope everyone is having a good week, and take it easy.